Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we've got some breaking transfer news this January transfer window. There's a slight smile on my face because I think it's a good story. Muani of PSG to Manchester United imminently if we can beat off the competition from Spurs and Juventus. And the thing that excites me about this is the source it's coming from. Ruben Amorim wants Muani from PSG, and this is coming in from a David Ornstein bomber. This is from David Ornstein, and this is what David Ornstein has had to say. Spurs, Manchester United, and Juventus are exploring a deal to sign Randal Kolo Muani on loan. All three clubs are considered the top contenders as of now. This is massive, absolutely massive. So yeah, look, what are your thoughts on that? We've also got some very interesting comments from Bruno Fernandes that I was going to talk about at 8 o'clock, but we are in a transfer window and things can happen. Personally, I've got a bit of a theory here and we'll have to wait and see what happens. I see a silhouette of a man. I see a Xerxes to Juventus deal, which takes Juventus out of the equation. And then I see Muani to Man United because we're better than a Spurs move. Don't go to Spurs. They've already got Solanke. So, I think that this is maybe the way it's going to go. Now, I think there's a bit of snobbery here going on. I think there's a bit of snobbery. There's a lot of people saying, no, I don't want Muani. I don't want Muani. Remember, this is a loan deal. This is a loan deal in January. You're not going to get Gyökeres. Osimhen is of interest to Manchester United. There is no two ways about it. But everybody knows that Osimhen is a very, very difficult deal to do. He's already on loan at Galatasaray and Manchester United don't have £70 million to spend on a striker. So there is a loan pathway that leads us to the summer where maybe you go away from Muani, you send him back and you go for Gyökeres or somebody else anyway. But I think, I think that... It's really interesting how snobby some people are being. When I say snobby, you might be from a different country and not know what I mean. I think people have been a bit arrogant. They've been, I don't want that. I don't want that. And I'm like, hold on a minute. We've got Rasmus, who's getting a lot of stick at the moment, and even somebody that genuinely believes he's a good player is 21, is playing every bloody minute, and it's not going fantastic. Two becomes one. I think we need two strikers. I think, in the next game at Arsenal, it would be nice to take Rasmus and put him on the bench and start a striker. Or it would have been nice yesterday, after an hour, to take him off and bring a striker on. We don't have that option. We're trying to win the Europa League. We need to bring a striker in January that can improve the team. We're not talking about a striker that's going to lead the line for the next 5 years and win us a title. We're talking about a striker that can come in now and improve the situation. And in Muani, on loan, I can't understand why we're being so, arrogant and spoilt. The situation is, it's a January transfer window. The situation is that Amorim's only been here a month. And the situation is that this wasn't part of the plan. It was meant to be Ten Hag in charge with Xerxes and Rasmus fighting for the top four. Instead, we're 14th in the league. It's not worked out. We need a striker, and we've got a different manager as well. And in Muani, I think it's really important to understand what type of player he is. When you look at him, he ain't prolific. I mean, I'll get the stats up on it, but he's not prolific. There's no point in saying that he's prolific as a striker because he isn't. I mean, looking at the last 5 years... he was, 2018 to 2022, he was at Nantes. He scored 21 goals in 79 games. So 1 every 4 games. It's not prolific. He then goes to Eintracht Frankfurt and he scores 16 goals in 34 games. 1 every 2. He then goes to PSG and he scored 8 goals in 36 games. So he's actually nearly 1 in 5. So prolific goal scorer, no. And we all think of Muani and we think of that World Cup. We think about the World Cup final. We think about the last few minutes. We think about the one-on-one. Martinez saves it and Argentina win the World Cup. So, look, I get it. But the arrogance of, we don't want this guy. What if this guy, for the next few months, is going to share the load with Rasmus? What if this guy is going to be the understudy to Rasmus? We don't know what the role is. But what we do know is we need a striker that comes in now and improves us. And I think he does. Maddison says he ain't that good. Based on what? What are you basing that on? I've watched a few PSG games. He was very good at Eintracht Frankfurt, and a lot of people wanted him. A lot of people wanted him. Juventus want him. Spurs want him. So I think everyone is saying he's not that good. Can we get the league table up? Can somebody get the league table up? We're 14th in the league, you prat. What are you talking about? He ain't that good. Have you checked us out? We're pretty shit as well. So, look, people want to climb the mountain, but they don't want to take the first steps. They want a bloody bungee jump to the top, which doesn't even bloody work and won't work. We're not signing Gyökeres in January, so grow up. It's not happening. You're going to get Muani on loan or something like it, and it's going to be a small step, and it might be a big step, and it might be a slipped step. It might be a Stevie G. But for me, I cannot understand the arrogance and spoilt behaviour from some people in our fan base who talk about patience, talk about a journey, but don't want to take a step on that journey. They want to get a bloody Uber to the destination. Well, we ain't got the money for the Uber. No one's going to pick us up. So you better get bloody walking. And what I like about Muani is that he ticks a lot of boxes of what we need. And I'm talking about Eintracht Frankfurt because that was the big season for him. He played in a system there where he played with his back to goal a lot. He actually got quite a lot of assists there. Now, he's not a brilliant passer of the ball, but he's quite good at holding the play up, playing the simple pass. He never stops running. He's capable of running with the ball. He's 6'2", and he's actually quite aggressive in the duel as well. So I don't know whether he comes in and starts ahead of Rasmus. I don't know whether he comes in and he's an option off the bench for Rasmus. I don't know whether we rotate him with Rasmus. But what I do know is that we would be bringing somebody in who has played up front for France, has played Champions League football, and we're getting him on loan. We're not even paying any money for him, really. So I just don't know how you can turn your nose up at it. And if he goes to Spurs and we end up with nothing, you'll be begging for the fact that we got Muani. So, look, for me, this reminds me a little bit of a year ago when we were turning our nose up at Garassi. And I was one of those bums. I was turning it up. I was turning my nose up. And, you know, I was the bum. You know, I should have said, look, you know what? It's the January transfer window. Stop being spoiled and just go for something that's actually going to improve us. And I think, look, I can't guarantee it's going to be a success, but we need to bring in a few players this January transfer window. And if you bring a striker in on loan, it's just clever business. Because if it works out, you could make it a permanent deal. And if it doesn't work out, you could send him back and go for something a bit better in the summer. So I like the deal. I'm not here to say it's going to be a rip-roaring success, but I like the deal if we do it. But what I will say is, don't necessarily think that this is the deal. There might be something else we're working on as well, but Tommy K's laughing at striker on loan. Oh, mate, I don't know what to say to you, Tommy. I genuinely don't know. You know, 2025, and you're laughing at us doing a loan deal for a striker. Where have you been? How was the coma? Or were you trekking around somewhere with no phone for 10 years? I mean, what are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? What is it you think that's possible? Because I could do with a laugh. Come on, Johnny. Tell us what you think is possible in January that you're laughing about bringing a striker in on loan. Look, we are 14th in the league. We are terminally shit. We're a laughing stock. And you're turning your nose up at a striker like that on loan when we don't have any money to spend until we sell someone. And actually, a striker's not even a priority. We need a left back. We need a midfielder. We need a creative player. So I'm of the opinion that certainly better than nothing, and certainly something that improves our squad. And Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact,
smash a like on the video, because we all know only legends like videos, and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video, and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, as always.